Hi guys, you almost have seen the first lesson of the Gulliver movie. But the people of Lilliput invite Gulliver once again, so let's see his amazing journey. The movie starts in Lilliput town, and let's see their present King Edward. And he has come to make further important announcements. He tells people that it has been 40 years since Gulliver left here, and as per our prediction, today he is going to visit us again. He reminds them of Gulliver's old works, how he taking advantage of his giant size and solved many problems of their town and also taught their enemy a good lesson. Further, Edward says that this time also that giant is going to help us a lot, and after hearing this, they all start dancing with joy. They make a lot of preparations to welcome him, including a huge gate, and soon a crowd of people gather there, where we see a girl named Marcy, who is very excited to see the giant Gulliver. Then a gun signals the arrival of a Gulliver. Everyone waits with bated breath for him to enter, but they see that there is a small person like them at the door. Here we see a 1 week earlier flashback where a pallet was built in the middle of a sea. The guards are resting inside. Here a mouse is trying to free himself from a trap, and then the man comes and frees it. This man, who has actually come here to steal, he tries very hard to remain silent. But due to the wooden floor, the soldiers soon wake up, and the thief man starts running away from them. After running, he comes to a throne room where a golden throne is kept, and before the soldiers can catch him, he takes the mouse with him and steals the throne. He runs away from there, swims back to his ship, and we see that he has a lot of stolen treasure. Then he introduces himself to Mouse. It turns out that the thief man is actually Gulliver. From this time, he makes the mouse his friend. Then a messenger comes there to meet him and tells him a message has come to your name from Lilliput town. They all want to meet you immediately. Then Gulliver also turns his ship in the same direction. From here, we come straight to the present time. The king is surprised to see him and asks, "Who are you?" On this, Gulliver says that you people have also called me here and my name is Gulliver. But the king does not trust him at all. This happens because they are all expecting a giant. The other public too gets disappointed seeing him. Gulliver tries hard to understand them, but the king dismisses him as an imposter and arrests him. Next, we see him in the royal court, where the judge is also the same crazy king. Then the king accuses Gulliver that you have made our giant friend disappear somewhere, and now you have come here to take his place. Then 2 black hat spies have come here to get the news about Gulliver. But they see this is not a giant but a normal person. Then Gulliver demands a lawyer for himself. But that role has also been taken by Edward, and he immediately gives him a death sentence. Marcy, also sitting in the crowd, she does not like this. Then she desires to do something for Gulliver. Then she comes here to help Gulliver in the form of a lawyer. But she says that we should kill this man in front of all townspeople so that this type people can learn a lesson from him. Edward, the king, also agrees with her and then puts him in jail for the night. A soldier also captured his mouse. The next scene is of Blefusca Castle, where we see General Simon, and he is planning to capture Lilliput. Then his spies come there and tell him that there is no need for him to be afraid, because this Gulliver is also a human being like us, not a giant. Simon is very happy to hear that. Now he wants to give a message to them to surrender before him. Otherwise, he attacks them. In another scene, Edward goes to meet Gulliver in his prison and tells him that tonight I'm in the role of jailer and has come to inquire about you. Gulliver understands that Edward is a #1 idiot. Gulliver continues to talk and asks him to play the role of a prisoner. Tell him that there are very good facilities in your prison. Edward doesn't catch his trick and lets him out and goes inside himself. Even he also gives the keys of prison to Gulliver and says that this experience is going to be fun. While running, Gulliver meets Mossy. He realized that she had come to the courtroom as his lawyer. Gulliver starts getting angry that you wanted to get me killed in front of the public. Then Mossy says you are going to die on the same day, and I wanted to give you a chance to escape. Now Gulliver refuses to take any other help from her, but Gulliver sees that there is no way out of the castle. So Marcy shows him a secret path and he goes up through it, and they go to the town throughout this path. Meantime, the king, Edward, realizes his mistake when the soldiers understand him. Then Edward asks them to quickly catch the Gulliver. But Marcy and Gulliver, after a long run, succeed in coming out of the town. Here Marcy asks about his future plan. Then Gulliver says that he has to meet a special man here. Marcy understands that he is talking about his friend Frelic. Both of them start going to Frelic. Marcy says that people know everything about your friendship. Then Gulliver says that everything has changed a lot here. After some time, in night they set up a camp at a place. Marcy tells him that there is no use in lighting a fire because there is going to be snowfall soon. Gulliver starts laughing after hearing this. He says how can it be possible in summer? And ignoring her, he goes to sleep. In the morning, he sees snow spread everywhere, and then Marcy tells him a hidden truth, how the king wanted time to pass faster, and for this, he took the help of a magical order. Being a king, anyone could not go against him. Since then, every week has a day comes in Lilliput which is equal to a whole year. And on this day they enjoy all the seasons at a time. For this, they called it Year Day. On this, Gulliver asks why the king wanted to increase the speed of time. Then Marcy blames Gulliver for this because he had promised to come here after 40 years. But the crazy king did not want to wait so long, and he found this way. Due to this, 40 years have passed very quickly. Then Gulliver says that he has nothing to do with any prophecy. I have come here at the behest of my friend Frelic. Then they very soon reach Frelic's house. But Gulliver sees that Frelic has become very old. But before both of them were on the same page. Then he understands that all this is because of the Year Day. Even the Frelic also refuses to recognize him. Then Gulliver also comes to know that Marcy is also Frelic's daughter. So, Marcy asks both of them to go inside. But we see that Frelic has written a message and sent it to the king. Now, Gulliver tries to understand him once again, but Frelic says that his friend was a giant, and you are a fraud. Then Marcy tells to Gulliver that her father had explained a lot to the people that Gulliver is a normal person, but the king and his people made our life difficult. And to save me, my father have to accept the king's talk about giant. Then Gulliver starts singing one of his songs which he and Frelic sang together before. After hearing this song, Frelic recognizes him. Then suddenly soldiers come there and attack them. Soldiers tie up Frelic and they take Gulliver and Marcy with them. Then Frelic blames himself for this. After this, the king orders them both to be executed. And now everyone sees that Edward is also going to play the role of executioner. But he does not see anything in the mask. He comes and starts swinging the axe here and there in the air. Meanwhile, Marcy apologizes to Gulliver and tells him that I had written and sent you that letter so I could know your truth. Now, King also takes off his mask and comes to kill them. But then a guard tells him that Black Fusco Spice has come to meet him and he immediately goes to meet them. Here Spice tells him about Simon's warning, but King drives them away by saying that our giant friend is back, so we don't worry about anything. Hearing this, the spies go back. Here now the king does not kill Gulliver and Marcy, and makes with him a deal that you can ask for anything in return for our help. Gulliver also takes advantage of this and frees his friends. At this time, King also tells the public that Gulliver is our real giant friend, and only he can protect us from Blefuscu. But a lady named Darcy says that you have to prove of it that he is a giant and other people also support her. Then Darcy asks him to solve the problem of the town's wall and water. If he can solve these, then we accept him as a giant. Then Gulliver also thinks of something and he gets ready for this. He makes some machines with his knowledge. After that, with the help of the people in town, he fixes the broken wall. Then, in the same way, he breaks a big rock with gunpowder, which is blocking the water supply of this town. Seeing this, people are very impressed and happy. Then Gulliver makes them understand that being giant does not mean having big hands and legs. We become giant with our own strength and courage. Like you all are the people who helped me a lot in solving this problem. Here the spies also notice this everything. Then they go to tell Simon that Gulliver is preparing everyone for the war. Simon does not care about this and says that I have an army of thousands people. And for Gulliver, I have made some special preparations. After that, he attacks the Lilliput with his army. Seeing this, Edward and his soldiers start running away from there. Gulliver also gets worried after seeing this. Simon very quickly reaches Lilliput's kingdom with his army. Then Fric says to Gulliver that we are not able to fight with this army. Gulliver also worries about this, but he knows what he has to do in this situation. Then he goes alone to talk to Simon and says, I want to challenge you for a single fight so that there is no threat to the lives of innocent people. Then Simon also feels that he will become famous by defeating a giant like Gulliver. And thinking this, he accepts this challenge. Then we see a sword fight between both of them. But due to his skills and knowledge, Gulliver soon defeats him. And Simon also accepts this defeat. Everyone thinks that perhaps this war is over. But then Simon brings a robot and starts attacking Gulliver. This time Gulliver cannot stand in front of this giant machine. In the meantime of this fight, Marcy notices that today is the year day. Then she makes a plan with her father and Gulliver. They together present Gulliver as a giant through a project, and make it appear as if the change in weather is also a result of Gulliver's power. After seeing this, Simon's soldiers get very scared and run away from there. Then suddenly snow starts falling there. It gets frozen to Simon's robot. When it froze, then Fric breaks the robot with a big hammer. After dismissing the robot, Simon is also afraid and runs away from there. Then people of Lilliput come to thank Gulliver. King Edward also comes to take credit for the victory. But now people have understood him. Then Darcy says that now you cannot become our king. Then she asks Gulliver to take this responsibility. Gulliver thanks him for this trust, but says that Fric can be a better king than me. Fric also accepts this position. Then all Lilliput becomes very happy. Further, it is revealed that Gulliver and Marcy have got married to each other. And now they are going on a new journey. Fric and the others come to say goodbye. Then Gulliver promises that he will come to meet them again soon. In the end scene, we see them moving forward on their journey, and with this, our amazing movie ends. So, friends, I hope you all liked this movie. If you enjoy animated movies, subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Thank you.